The Good Buddies Anime Podcast is hosted by two rowdy, foul-mouthed American cowboys. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, Good Buddies, what's up, and welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Review. I am your good buddy, Roger.
I wasn't ready. You asked me if I was ready to record, and I was ready to record. I wasn't ready for that. And I am your good buddy, Brandon, and I'm a little bit scared for my safety. I'll be honest, guys.
Well, Brandon, let me tell you why I am so ready.
Tell me why you're so
why
hyped,
I'm so jacked, dude.
so pumped.
Is that we're not actually doing Sailor Moon this week like we said.
Which
I did watch, and I am excited to talk about.
It's going to be a great time.
But an anime finished that I wasn't sure if it was going to get 12 or 13 episodes. Turns out it got 12. Ended this week. It ended today or yesterday, depending on where you are, Friday. Wikipedia says October 1st is when it ended.
I watched it Thursday.
It is Sunny Boy.
It is Sunny Boy, and Sunny Boy kicks ass, so psych, we swerved you.
Swerve, you know. We choose our own destiny.
You know, sometimes you got to mix it up.
Yeah, you mix it up and your path can change.
Indeed. So we are talking about Sunny Boy, and I do want to give everybody a little bit of a disclaimer. We got a couple drinkies.
Yeah.
It's a special anime. It's a special night.
Yeah, this anime meant something to me. So I have came out of drinking retirement for like 2 or 3 years, and
yeah, I've had
a couple drinks.
I think this is mostly just because I remember asking for a drinky when I got here because I had a bad day at work. But we'll talk about that later. Point is, we got a little drinky, and sorry if we slur any of our words. We love you all. But Roger, we're gonna tell our good buddies about this here anime.
Yeah,
we're gonna give them
about it.
The good old review of recommendation. See, I'm already fucking up. We're gonna give them the good old review of recommendation.
I feel like I'm doing better than I normally do.
See, that upsets me because
maybe I need medication.
My normal silver tongue self is over here slurring, but we're gonna give them the old review of recommendation. Do we, their good buddies, think they are good buddies? Should check out this show. And Roger, if this show was some boo-boo stank garbage, what would you call it?
An anime, maybe not.
If it wasn't the worst.
Anime.
Fine, it was average.
Hey, my guy, that's an anime, maybe.
What if it was actually pretty good though?
That's an anime, most definitely.
But Roger, if it was so good.
If it was so good, dude, it would be a 9.75 animazing.
Damn, boy. Did you just spoil? Was that a spoiler alert?
You know, I choose my own destiny.
This guy. Yes. So we're gonna tell you that is the scale. That is how we do it. And to get there, we've got a few different categories.
Yeah, how do I get to that 9.75?
How do we get there? Damn, just putting it all out there this early. How we're gonna get there is we have 5 different categories we're gonna talk about. A possible 2 stars in each category for a total of a possible 10 stars. And Roger, what is that first category?
That first category is a story and setting.
The second category.
The characters and development.
Número 3.
The art and animation.
Number 4.
That soundtrack.
And finally, that Good Buddies Wiggle Room, that 5th category, that
Je ne sais quoi.
Roger, what does that mean?
I do not know what.
I don't know what. But that's how we're going to do it. Let's go on and get into it. No more stalling. No more faffing around. No more farting and fucking.
You're really going to have to figure out how to tell them what this is about. I kind of can a little bit.
Oh, do you want me to take a stab at it?
If you want to take a stab, go ahead. If you don't want to, I will.
Normally, your boy has some notes. We're going off the dome this time. The only thing I wrote down in my notes is these characters' names.
Off of the drinky dome.
Yes, a little bit drinky dome. Sunny Boy is a bit of an art house anime, a bit of
avant-garde.
It is the Stanley Kubrick mixed with a little bit of David Lynch and a nice dose of some weird like the weirdest
Salt Bay, baby.
Yeah, just the weirdest little bit of space epic you can throw in there.
Yeah. If I had to put something together, I would say it's Lord of the Flies meets Fooly Cooley.
Absolutely. Lord of the Flies is very apt.
Maybe let me Salt Bay some Satoshi Kon in there.
Yes, I was actually going to say if Satoshi Kon and those other dudes I mentioned just all nutted into 2001 Space Odyssey. That's basically what you got. It's a weird one, y'all. So the main stories we have, it starts out with an odd group of a group of kids who have suddenly found themselves in their school thrust into this weird dark dimension and some of them have superpowers. And you know what? I'm just going to say right now, not unlike Fooly Cooley, the director had a really great quote he said one time. He said, listen, understanding isn't really a thing with this show. And I'm likening this to that. Now there is some real value.
Oh, there is stuff to be pulled from here.
There's absolutely some interesting stuff to be pulled, but baby, just sit back and take this ride.
Yep.
It's a weird one, y'all. But yes, they end up. We'll talk about more a little bit, but like basically, it starts in the school. They end up by the end of the first episode on an island. They then start careening through these other worlds and whatnot. Eventually, it's absolutely outrageous, and it defies any amount of logic you would have. Do not go in here trying to draw a line between these things. I'm sure you can find some.
There probably is, dude. If you have the brain cells to burn, I'm sure you can put this together in some way.
I said,
and I'm not saying that I haven't been able to put this together in some way,
sure.
But there is probably something that they intended.
Yeah, there's absolutely some meaning here, but also I'm telling you, man, just go in.
Yeah,
just go it like. And this is
this
is a reference for only me. Like Brandy Rhodes' theme song, I'm going in. That's it. Listen, just jump in, turn on, tune out, spark up, get you in. It's gonna be a good time. It's a weird one, y'all. And like I said, when we did the tier list for this past season, this is the show that we're gonna be picking apart and talking about for months.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very difficult to describe beyond what I've already said. It's just this weird pastiche of these different worlds and different characters and different moments and different things happening. And it's gonna make you feel something.
Yeah. It certainly made me. Yeah.
Do you want to move on at all, or can we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is already kind of in story and setting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you go into this, and like Brandon said, don't just look at it. Just look at it. Don't try to put it together any more than what it's telling you to do.
If I may, though, I feel like we do need to, let's get a little bit of concrete here. Okay. Kids in a school, in a weird dark world. Some of them get superpowers. Yep. They then get out of that superpower and end up on a beach. They find out that there are weird rules that going on with what's happening here. There are certain things that if they happen, there are consequences. Sometimes they change to a different world, we find out at some point. Some of them are able to do incredible things with their power. Some of them don't have powers at all. And it gets really wild and really weird, and it's all about these interactions of these people. There's a very strong theme in at least like the first, I'll say 5 or 6 episodes of this weird authoritarianism. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This thing where like
authoritism, I think, maybe.
Something like that. It's a word. Look, we're drunk. There's these things where like we're seeing people, Lord of the Flies style, who are taking control and saying, all right, we need structure, and I'm going to be the one that does the structure, so we decided this is how it's going to work. There are other moments where the group all bands together and says this one person is doing something wrong, and you need to fix it. You need to do something about this. You need to apologize for what you've done, to which that person responds, what the fuck are y'all talking about? I'm just here.
Yeah.
It's very, at times, intense. It is very, at times, unfair. It is very at times mind-boggling, like the things that you see and the way that they happen and the way that they interact with each other. But in the end, please don't forget, no matter how long they're there or where they are or what worlds they go through, you are watching a show about kids who are growing up and trying to make sense of their lives and their relationships. And that's the heart of the show. And it's wild.
Yep.
It's just weird and kind of awesome, and it kicks a little ass.
Yeah. The best word that I have to describe this is special. This is special.
It's a special show.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I did too. And, as far as episodes go and different things, definitely tune into the ramble, because we're going to be talking about what our favorite episodes and moments were in the show. More than we usually do in a ramble, I would assume.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
because there's a lot to unpack in this show. But yeah, that's pretty much the story and setting. I mean, the school is floating into a void, and these kids are trying to learn how to deal with that. But most importantly, episode by episode, it's learning how to deal with each other. It is personal relationships.
Yeah.
That is what you're getting into in this show.
Yeah. And you get pretty deep into
Yep.
it.
Yep. All right, man. You want to head on to the next thing?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the characters. In the
Yep.
book. Let's start with the boy.
Yeah, Nagara.
Nagara. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's his name.
I think it's
though.
Nagara. Yeah.
That sounds right. This dude is a little bit of a loner. He's kind of quiet, kind of sad. He's
a Shinji-esque character.
Okay.
I wouldn't call him Shinji,
Not full
but
on
he's a
Shinji.
Shinji-esque character.
Yes, and he's ostensibly the main character of the show, although it takes a very strong like rotation between him and a couple of other characters. But yeah, the dude at first doesn't seem to have any kind of like powers or anything. He's very quiet. He's very unassuming. He doesn't want to be involved in anything, and yet he is, of course, thrust into this because all of them are, whether they like it or not.
Yep.
And this dude, yeah, I mean, by the end of the show, he's clearly changed.
Yeah.
He takes just like a pretty hard hero's journey, you know, with the whole like, you know, starting out, refusal to call, etc., etc. We can go through the whole thing, you know, but by the end, he more or less ends up back where he started, having changed, and that's the main thrust of it. Is you must grow, you must change, and boy, oh boy, do you see this boy go through some changes, even if they aren't immediately apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Do you have anything else to
He
say
is.
about it?
It's, you know, like often with characters like this, it's easy to count them out or immediately, you know, see how they are and sigh, kind of like, oh, it's gonna be one of these mush boys.
Yeah, real soft boy,
Yeah.
real soy boy,
Don't
real beta
count.
cuck.
Yeah, soy boy beta cuck. You know what? And my boy
no.
Nagara is not beta at all.
He's a good boy.
He actually, you know, he works. He starts to understand. He listens to others, and
Yeah,
he
man.
allows that to impact him. And even though the changes sometimes are subtle, sometimes they're, you know, you don't notice them right away. Sometimes it takes a little bit. He does change, and he does try to make himself better. And the way they progress that in the show is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, man, he's a real like still waters run deep type. Like
Yeah.
you see him be very quiet, and yet my dude has his moments.
Yeah.
And he has his mind.
He's like, you know, the rest of us when you're young. He's confused and, you know, often scared.
Yeah, very much. Who do you want to talk next?
Let's go to Nozomi.
Oh,
My girl.
my girl.
She's so nice.
She, my beautiful girl. She's a little bit. I'll admit, when I first
Yeah,
when I first started
she's a
watching
little
this,
bit of a hellraiser.
she kind of struck me as like a kind of manic pixie dream girl at first, like very against the authority that is immediately presenting itself. There's a group of students in the first episode who decide like, look, we need to get this figured out, we need to work on this, we've decided this is how it's gonna work, and she's like, y'all ain't God, don't tell me how to live.
Yeah, don't tell me what the fuck.
And then they give her a phone because everyone needs a phone so they can stay in contact. And she took it and threw it on the ground. And it's a good old time. She is not having anyone's bullshit. She is her own person. And god damn it. Like, there's a thing where, and this might not make a lot of sense to everyone, but it resonates with me. There's a type of person who knows exactly who they are.
Yep.
That's Nozomi. You can't tell her shit about her because she knows who she is.
Yeah.
Whether you accept it or not. I'm me, deal with it. And that's beautiful. And she, again, at first struck me as like the manic pixie dream girl who's just kind of like, haha, I don't agree with your bullshit. I'm happy. I'm doing what I want. But again, I've said it about
She's
Nagara.
far deeper than that. Yeah.
Still waters run deep, and her waters ain't all that still. But damn, they deep.
Yeah.
She does not fuck around, and she knows. She knows.
Yeah.
She knows. Look, this bitch knows. She knows.
All right, man. Let's go to Mizuho.
She's a good girl.
One of my favorite characters.
I love her.
She's kind of your more misunderstood character.
Yes.
She's off-putting. She's Generally kind of a loner herself.
Yes, and she is one of the first targets of this larger this fucking
Yeah, she's a weird
zeitgeist,
girl.
this group that just says, "Hey, we've decided a thing about you," and she refuses to
Yeah.
fucking take their shit.
She's a little bit of an ass too.
A little bit.
It not in the sense that, Nozomi is like, don't tell me who I am. Mizuho's, she's kind of, it's hard to put her. She's kind of just like, she don't care if you're telling her who she is or not. She just doesn't want to deal with you.
Yeah,
Why are you fucking with me right now?
absolutely.
Because I don't want it.
Like she has. So the really cool thing about her, my favorite thing about her, is she has these 3 cats.
Yeah.
I don't.
One of
remember
them
the
got
names.
that drippy nose.
One of them's got a drippy nose.
Sa-
one of them
Sakura is the white
Sakura is
one.
the white one. That's the
Yeah.
only one I remember. Sakura's my favorite. She's a little white kitty. But she's got these 3 cats, and that is basically all she cares about. I believe they were her grandmother's cats, and I believe her grandmother either passed away or had to
Yep.
move, and she took the cats.
She took the cats in.
And she's been taking care of them. And honestly, like, hey, y'all do whatever you want. This is mine. These are mine, and I've got what I need. That's her character. She is quite self-sufficient to an incredible degree, it turns out, because well, we don't want to get into spoilers and everything, but her power makes it very easy for her to be self-sufficient.
Yes.
Um,
Or maybe.
maybe. Or so it would seem. Yeah, but she's a good time. Do you want to talk about anybody else?
I mean, we can give it a rundown of kind of who we have left.
We gotta talk about my boy Rajdani.
Yeah, Rajdani.
Rajdani kicks ass.
Excellent character.
Rajdani kicks ass. Rajdani.
He's an Indian character, and he is kind of the scientist. He's
Love
the explorer.
You know I love it when they give us a brown character and just let him be a character.
And they do a great, like, he looks great.
He's very good. He's a good boy. He's a really cool dude. He's very thoughtful, very mindful. He is the scientist. He is constantly
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's happening. Yeah, Rajdani kicks ass.
Yeah.
Rajdani and Mizuho might be my 2 favorites, but they're all very good.
Yeah.
What about Flyboy?
Asakaze.
Is that Flyboy?
Yep.
Flyboy's kind of wild.
He kind of flies at a lean.
Yeah, I'm still not. So here's the thing. Not everybody, but several of them have these powers. And so, like, you find out this one can conjure items, and this one can do whatever, and this one can teleport or something. And then this dude he seems like the Silver Surfer, where he can basically do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he has the power cosmic. Dude.
He's got power cosmic,
He's
homie.
ridiculous.
I'm glad you grabbed
and
that.
That's kind of what he is. He is the character that, even though somebody's trying to put themselves in charge, nothing is going to tell him that he is not the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to do everything it takes to be the messiah of these other children.
I don't know if you heard that through my glass, but I was taking a little drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a special boy, and he's better than you, and he knows it.
Yep.
Although he's not quite so brash about it,
Yeah.
but he has a very strong
Boy.
sense. See, that's the thing. Is like, not unlike Nozomi is a character who knows exactly who he is a character who is who you say he is.
Yeah.
And if you say, when someone tells him you're special, you're the chosen one, he fucking runs with it.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but it is who he is. And you see the results of that pretty heavily throughout this program.
Yeah. And my boy loves to put his head in between 2 nice pairs. Just a giant pair of gazongas.
All right, there's a lady who shows up with big titties, and she basically, like,
Is she necessary? Yes.
she's kind of like the this is a reference for somebody. She's kind of like the white witch in Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe, who like
Yeah.
shows up and like basically tempts one of the boys.
And
except instead of Turkish delight, she got them big old boobies.
yeah, and some people might come out swinging and be like, okay, this is, you guys said these were children, yes. But actually, the way they explain this, it is kind of some of that anime smoke and mirrors that they want you to accept.
Yeah, I mean, and it's
She's
not
not
like,
a million years old or
look,
anything like that.
To be
but
clear, you never see them like fuck or anything.
Yeah.
But she clearly like
she definitely lets him put his face right in between her breasts.
you could almost call it like a motherly thing, but it's clearly like slightly
My
sexual
mom
in
didn't
there.
do that shit.
It's a little bit sexual in nature.
Did your mom do that?
No.
Was she like, Brandon, come here?
No, stop. Now you're being weird.
All
All right, Roger, you're drunk. Give me your keys. Give me your keys. You're drunk. Yeah, man, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
dude.
point.
Let's. I think we've been there long enough. Let's move on to the art and animation.
This show is so fucking weird.
Yeah, here's where it's gonna start getting faster.
All right.
This show is fucking weird. It's experimental.
Yes.
It's blobby.
It's gonna fuck you
It's
up.
beautiful.
It fucked me up.
It is incredible to look at.
It really is.
There are gonna be few things that you can watch that are gonna be this visually appealing.
Now, I will say, like, when I talk visually appealing, there's one thing that immediately springs to mind. There was a program, like, there's a couple things. There's smoothness in animation, which is always a plus for me. I love that shit. But then there's also incredible visuals. And when I think incredible visuals, like something like Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, where everything like had such a bright color, and like literally any frame of that show you could put on my wall and I would call it art. This one is much flatter, it's much simpler, and yet it does these things that break my mind when I look at them.
Yep.
You go from seeing like these fairly plain looking characters, these human characters, and as they go through these worlds and experience these things, you're suddenly seeing now here's a world where everything is made of stained glass, and here's a world where I'm just standing on a cliff watching a big ass whale fly through the clouds.
Yep.
And
This world is just red.
it just
Yeah.
hits your mind in such a way. It's very difficult to describe, but it has a really great,
Yeah.
like, mind-bendy, like borderline psychedelic feel to it.
It's what, as somebody that went to art school,
Uh-huh.
it's what I aspire to be able to produce. Stuff that is weird, something that is totally different that you haven't really seen before.
It's very good.
And I mean, this is Madhouse, so you know what to expect. It's Madhouse,
Oh yeah, baby.
so
Mass don't fuck around.
it's amazing. I can't say anything bad about the animation at all.
The animation and art.
It's
is wild.
if anything, this show is almost worth watching just for the animation.
Maybe
It's really good.
It is one of those where, like, the characters are very simplified. There's not a lot of shading. There's not a lot of depth to their designs. And yet it does that thing where, like, first of all, you can immediately identify characters just by looking at them. Like, there's an old thing where, like, if you can identify a character by a silhouette, then that's a good character design. Just imagine if you would see the silhouette of Homer Simpson or Peter Griffin, you're going to know exactly who that is.
Yeah.
I feel like just watching this, I can get a feel for these characters
Yep.
from that same area. When you're watching them, it is very flat, as we said. No, not a lot of shading or anything, but the simplicity adds a level of it's just so much character to the designs that, I mean, fuck, I can't really say anything bad about
Yeah.
it. It's one of those where, like, if it wasn't so, I will say this, if it wasn't so weird, if everything that was happening wasn't so out there, maybe it would strike me as not as good. And yet, it just all works.
Yeah.
It just works.
It's special.
It's special. It's
Yep.
hard to describe, and it's
Yep.
special, and it kicks ass.
Yep. Soundtrack,
Soundtrack, very good. The end theme,
it's special.
it's special. The end theme is by the
Gingnang Boys.
The Gingnang Boys. I believe they did some original music for this one.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So this was not like, oh, we heard this band and we like their music, so we got some songs. No, we had them record songs for this shit, and it kicks ass.
Yeah.
Gingnang
Never heard of
Boys-
them before, but
Dog.
boy, am I into them now.
I'm in it, and it is on Spotify. They are on Spotify.
Yeah.
This song is on Spotify, and they got a lot of stuff on Spotify. I've been going through it. That's a very good Japanese punk
Don't
band.
say goodbye.
Don't say goodbye. The only thing that really bums me out is there's an acoustic version of one track acoustic version of that song that plays in the final episode.
Yeah.
and it's not on Spotify, and I'm sad about it.
Yeah, I really wish I wish it was, because that's the
that-
thing is that
hoping
they
that
took
goes
this
up.
song that you've been hearing the whole show, and the whole show, it's kind of fun because the whole show is asking you not to, you end with "Don't say goodbye" to something that is going to end.
Yeah. Damn, that's deep, homie.
Yeah, it is. And the last time they do that track, it's a single recording session, which means they turned a microphone onto him and maybe
guitar.
onto his guitar. They might have used the same microphone for both, and just let the dude sing the track.
Just let
him do one live take.
Bro, he breaks too. It's
Yeah.
so good.
It is fucking powerful,
Soundtrack
dude.
kicks ass.
That
And
is another thing about this show is it is powerful.
Yes,
but
and
maybe that's more for the je ne sais quoi.
Here's the thing that really I really enjoyed is the negative space they do with the music, because other than those tracks, like the ending track and a couple tracks during the thing, like there are some parts of this that feel like extended music videos.
Yep.
Where you're watching these people do things, and you're even watching
It hits
them
that
talk.
Fooly Cooley level,
Yes,
yeah.
You're even watching them talk to each other, but you're not hearing them talk. You're just hearing the music, and it's very good. But other than that, there is not any goddamn music I can remember.
Nope.
There's just nothing. It's just the sound of the talking and the sound, what little sound effects there are. There is no background music. You are experiencing this raw, and it fucking works very well. It's quite well done. And you know what it is, Roger? Special.
It's special.
Do you have anything else to say about it?
Nope, dude, let's go on that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, you go first.
This show is, like I said a second ago, it's powerful. It's wildly fucking powerful. These episodes, here's something that, you know, like we touched on just a little bit, but haven't really been on into, is that we gave you the overarching thing for the show of what it's about, what these kids are floating through this void and they're working with each other. What we didn't tell you is that each individual episode is something that you should take at its face value instead of the show as an entire whole. Because each episode is trying to tell you something. It's trying to teach you a lesson of some sort. And man, some of them are incredibly moving. At least they were to me. And I couldn't believe how they made this show so weird and so confusing, yet so understandable and real at the same time. It is freaking wild that they pulled something off this incredible. It was getting to the point I was liking it so much that I was starting to worry that I was like, oh no, is this going to be another One Direct priority? Because, you know, all through One Direct priority, I said, oh, surely it can't shit the bed.
And then
And on this one, on this one, I was holding my breath. I was like, please, do not let Sonny Boy shit the bed. And it absolutely does not.
I liked it a lot.
Every single episode is special. Because you get One Direct priority and you get really special episodes. And this one, it's like those special episodes just all the way until the very end. And sometimes it's telling you a very mundane story and lesson.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and it's unashamed of what it is. And I really loved this show.
It's quite good.
Yep. What do you want to say, man?
It's special. I mean, that's
Special.
the easy answer. But beyond that, I do want to talk about a little bit about the
You
Predator.
do.
So, my homie Shingo Natsume is the director for this one, and if I recall correctly, this is the first time he got to make his own original thing. That is what I remember reading. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. But this is a guy who, I'm just going to run down some of these things. Going from his IMDb, he worked on the following: Space Dandy, Boogie Pop and Others, Gurren fucking Lagann, one of my personal favorites, Hori-san and Miyakun,
Like that one.
One Punch Man. The dude knows what he's doing.
Prolific.
And if I recall correctly, this was his first original, I get to do what I want. And if hearing those things and hearing the dude who worked on those and was very influential in those doesn't make you a little bit horny in your pee-pee and or vagina,
Yeah.
whatever you got, homie.
If it don't make your pee-pee strong.
I don't know what to tell you, man. This dude knows what he's doing, and he did it. The thing for me is there is so much value here. There is so much to the story of these multiple different things we're seeing, these different characters, these different moments, these different worlds, these different... I mean, it feels like going through a deck of tarot cards and making a story about each one, because they're very different, and yet they all just work so well together. And my guy, the final moments of this, I won't spoil anything, but when you see where these characters end up, it's simultaneously heartbreaking and just inspires so much hope.
Yeah.
that this is a thing that can happen. Now, I will say this. The show's fucking strange. And this is a thing we said before about other shows, but it's a thing that I think everyone should watch this. But I couldn't recommend it to just anybody. There are people who I know this would not be their style. This would not be their taste. And I would encourage them to check it out, but I know they wouldn't. You know, I would say, yo, Sonny Boy kicks ass. You should watch Sonny Boy. And they would get halfway through the first episode and be like, this is weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't watch this weird shit.
Yeah, and I can totally see that happening. I totally understand that. And everybody living the truth. Do your thing. But there is such a value to this that I think it fucking works. There are also, because I gotta knit my picks. I gotta pick my knits. There are moments where, like, you basically, like, there's these characters who seem very important at the beginning of the show who don't have a bunch of material toward the end. And there are, I will say this though, they at least have a character who's like, well, this happened, and tell you what happened to those characters.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice.
And sometimes, dude, sometimes in life, there are people that are important to you at one point, and then they're gone. They're not necessarily dead or anything. They're just not there anymore.
Damn, homie, that's deep.
Special.
Yeah, it's like that. And, like, I would have to pick a fucking tiny little nit for that to bother me. And it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
It's just, if this is a thing that, like, these characters are written in, and at first it's like, oh, this is gonna be our villain. Hey, he's gone in episode 6. It don't matter. It don't matter. Baby, it don't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you about it. Like, I can't really, like, form the words to talk about the show, but it's fucking beautiful and it's fucking strange. And it's fucking weird as all fuck.
Yeah.
And it kick a little ass and it whip a little ass. And watch Sonny Boy.
Yeah.
I've been saying it since that first episode dropped. Watch Sonny Boy.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, if I were to try to summarize, it's like, if you think you have this
you think you know me, punk?
Yeah,
you think you know me?
You have this idea of in actual life, just think about something like okay, I think this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And sometimes that shit doesn't happen. And guess what? Life still keeps going forward.
Yeah.
Things always just keep moving forward, even if the way that you expected it to go isn't how it's going.
Yeah.
And that's what Sonny Boy is about.
It's very good. All right. The moment you've all been waiting for. Let's hit those motherfucking scores.
How did I get to the 9.75?
Here we go. Story and setting.
I gave it 2 points.
I gave 1.5. Characters and development.
I gave it 2 points.
2 points. Art and animation.
I gave it 2 points.
2 points. Sound, music and sound.
I gave it 2 points.
2 points. And finally, that's je ne sais quoi.
I give it 1.75.
I gave 1.5.
Okay.
So that puts you at
a 9.75.
Well, I'll be goddamned. He said it and he wasn't kidding. That's a 9 for your boy. That's Animos definitely from the both of us. I'm begging everyone in the world, if you are within the sound of my voice, please watch Sonny Boy.
Obviously, if you're here, you watch anime. Please watch Sonny Boy.
You should check out Sonny Boy. You know, we'll go into the ramble. We'll talk.
Maybe you already watched Sonny Boy. Hey, they're dubbing it. Watch it again. See if there's anything that you missed.
Oh, I do want to check out.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what I plan on doing.
Horny for a dub. But yes, the show is so strange and so good. And look, if you get halfway through that first episode and you're like, I don't like this art and anime, just stick with it, you sour fuck. I love you, but please check it out. It's a good time.
Yep.
And Sonny Boy is a weird one, but it's also very, very, very fucking good. That's an Animos definitely from both of you good buddies.
That's not an Animos definitely, dude. That's an
Sorry, that's an amazing. I forgot the scale.
Dude, maybe
it's an amazing from both you boys.
You're a little lit up, dude.
Here's
you're
my
a little,
keys.
You're a little lit.
Here, take my keys. Don't let me
You're
drive
a little
home.
lit.
Don't let me drive home. But yeah, it's a good time. Check it out. Have a good one. Enjoy Sonny Boy. Watch Sonny Boy. Watch Sonny Boy. And oh, hey, did you hear? Watch Sonny Boy.
Yep.
And so, what are we doing next week, Roger?
Potentially Sailor Moon. I don't know. We'll see if it changes. But probably Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
I know at some point.
So Sailor Moon, first of all, let's talk about this because we didn't talk about it before. I said the last time when we said we were going to watch Sailor Moon that I enjoy me some Sailor Moon. I have not watched Sailor Moon Crystal. Sailor Moon Eternal is the thing we're talking about. And it is a continuation
Yes, it
of
is.
Sailor Moon Crystal, which I was not aware of. It is a
Yeah.
continuation of Sailor Moon Crystal, which is a big old reboot on the series and just kind of redoing the whole thing, and that's cool. But it's part of Sailor Moon Crystal, which
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
was
watched.
still able to follow the movie pretty well.
I will tell you, as soon as that bitch came on, me and Haley were watching it. She's like, I feel like I've seen this before. And I was like, yeah. And we looked it up. It's like, oh, this was a story arc they did in Sailor Moon Super S, I believe. So yes, it's happened before.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
new
the-
thing.
it's-
It's pretty
it's-
good.
As far as I understand, it's the non-butchered version of that.
Yeah, except it's like, they took this, I'm not gonna lie, like 30 episodes or something, 40 episodes maybe,
Yeah.
and forced it into 2 1.5 hour movies. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Hey,
There
are
are-
we gonna do part 1 or are we gonna do part 1 and 2? Who can say?
There are a couple of strange moments in there too that I was like, oh.
Yeah. Hey man. Hey, it's the 80s. Deal
Yeah.
with it. But we're gonna talk about Sailor Moon Eternal.
Probably.
Probably. Listen. We said before we were going to do a podcast about our anime playlist on Spotify, and then we didn't. And then we said we were going to do Sailor Moon Eternal, and then we didn't. So we can't be trusted. And you know what?
The good news is that I did watch Sailor Moon, so we are going to talk about it at some point.
We're going to talk about it at some point. And
Spotify,
we
I
love
love
you
it.
all.
We're going to talk about it sometime.
We love you all, and we're going to get there, and it's going to be okay.
Yep.
And as long as you, our good buddies, stick with us, your good buddies, it'll all be all right.
Yep.
And this is how we form an interdependent relationship, and that's how I become the cult leader I was always meant to be. And
Exactly.
you will follow me into that golden sunset because I am the real Sailor
because
Moon.
I am your good buddy.
I am your good buddy. But yes, all the plugs will be in the description of this video and or podcast. If you're listening to the
Yep.
podcast version, we're going to go straight into the ramble. So we will get there. We love you all. Thank you so much. And love you.
Love ya.